Right now, we start our streaming version of WFMY News 2 at 6 with breaking news. Right now, a massive fire is happening at a recycling plant in Kernersville. People almost 20 miles away in Greensboro can even see the smoke. Good evening, I'm Ben Briscoe. Video from Kernersville captures the huge amount of smoke coming from OmniSource. This is over on West Mountain Street. According to Kernersville police, it's a large pile of scrap metal burning. It is still an active fire, causing a ton of traffic problems in the area. We reached out to officials to learn about the cause and if there's any injuries. As you can imagine, they're pretty busy right now. We'll let you know when we hear back. Our Joseph Leonard is right by the fire. Look at all that smoke, Joseph.
Yeah, we're live outside of OmniSource here in Kernersville, and I'm going to step out of the way just so you can see how massive this fire is. The smoke from this plant is just ballooning out of it at a rapid pace. Now, the smoke, as Ben mentioned, coming from the recycling plant can be seen for miles. On my way over here, I could see the smoke all the way from the Piedmont Triad International Airport. I saw countless people pulling over, taking pictures of the smoke. A lot of people who live near the plant also coming out of their house to film the flames and take pictures. And I've spoken to a handful of people here on scene, and two friends tell me they walked out of a movie theater in High Point and could see the smoke all the way from out there. And just as Ben just mentioned, the details about how this fire started are limited, but according to the Kernersville Police Department, we know that a large pile of scrap metal is on fire. Now, we will continue to cover this story online and on the air, and as soon as we get more details, we will bring those to you. Live in Kernersville, Joseph Leonard, WFMY News 2.
Joseph, we've seen lots of pictures of the smoke, but how many fire crews do you see out there? Is there a big response?
Yeah, Ben, I've seen a handful of fire trucks and EMS trucks coming in and out of the entrance right over here. But that's about as far as what we've seen. I haven't seen any police officers. There is a police car actually that just drove up here, but there was a lot of people out here earlier. We've kind of seen that crowd die down. The traffic has obviously gotten much slower out here as well.
Thank you, Joseph. This fire has been burning for about an hour now, and we know it has been visible across the Triad. Just take a look at our sky cams. From High Point, you can see clearly some of the smoke. Moving over to Greensboro, it's just as visible in the distance. In fact, it almost looks like the entire sky was filled with smoke from this. And in Winston-Salem, the view not quite as good from the sky cam because of the equipment there, but you can see the smoke in the background. And a viewer submitted this picture from even further away from the sky cams. This is what it looks like closer to the Virginia-North Carolina border. A massive fire out there. Taking a look at our traffic map right now, it is bad over on West Mountain Street. Officials are asking the community to avoid the area, saying this type of traffic can really slow down the efforts. I will say earlier it was entirely red around the area, so people do seem to be taking the warning from firefighters to stay away. This is not the first time we've reported on a fire at OmniSource plant in Kernersville. In 2023, this was the scene of a different fire. This one not as big, and crews were able to get it under control in 15 minutes. We also know of a large brush fire that happened there in 2022. Joseph's going to continue to stay on the scene and work to learn more. As we get more details, you can stay updated on WFMYnews2.com. You can also find different pictures that viewers have submitted of the fire there. Developing in Greensboro, two men are in custody for the death of a 25-year-old man. GPD found that Jada Camaraderie had a gunshot wound on Rubywood Street. Officers located the suspect vehicle in the area and arrested two men, 55-year-old Kenny Isley and 28-year-old Ryan Isley. Ryan is charged with first-degree murder, while Kenny is being charged with accessory after the fact. This is the city's 12th homicide of the year. Today, increased security presence on Winston-Salem State University's campus continued because of a shooting that happened inside a dorm. All visitations for the weekend are also canceled. Here's what we know about the shooting right now. Friday night around 6:30, someone opened fire inside a dorm. Police found the victim in a study room, hurt but alive. The school says that person is not a student and that the victim was in stable condition as of yesterday. We've asked both police and the school if the shooter is still on the loose. They've both not responded. We'll update you as we try to learn more. Today, Davidson County 911 announced the passing of a dispatcher. Officials say that Laura Evhart passed away. In February, she was named Davidson County's Employee of the Year. On Facebook, Davidson County 911 changed their profile picture to a badge with her name right above it. In a post about Laura, they said she lived and breathed the profession with unwavering passion and pride, while also saying she embodied what it meant to be a selfless servant to her community. After a rainy end to the weekend, we ended with a lot of sun. Claire, how odd that we actually need the rain really bad right now for that fire.
Well, you know what? We have certainly been getting it just in the last week or so, from this past Monday all the way through the end, kind of dreary end to the week. And the sunshine is back. Highs today ended up crawling back into the 60s across the area, better than the 50s that we saw yesterday. 65 in Greensboro and also in Burlington, 67 in Winston-Salem. A current look right now in Burlington, it is just beautiful. This is the type of weather you need to take your dinner outside. Plenty of sunshine, and we are going to be warming up heading into the day tomorrow. A look at the satellite and radar, mainly clear skies. Could see an isolated patch of drizzle, but for the most part, we are staying dry into the next day or two. Temperatures right now starting to fall back into the lower 60s, but hey, it still feels pretty nice here just after 6 o'clock. Next 12 hours, I don't expect us to get back down into the 30s like we saw this morning. We're going to fall back in the upper 40s, right at around 50 degrees to start the day off for tomorrow. And what if I told you we're going to be back in the lower 80s? Southwesterly breezes we're going to see up to around 25 to 30 miles per hour, so going to be quite the breeze. Lower 80s are going to be expected for the afternoon. The next couple of days, this is what you can expect. Again, tomorrow is going to be kind of the warmer day of the bunch. By the time we're into Tuesday and Wednesday, cooling off just a bit as we're watching a dry cold front kind of push into the area. Also bring in an isolated chance of a shower or two, but we are warming up later in the work week. I'll let you know what you can expect later in the work week and into the weekend coming up.
Right now, we are staying on top of that breaking news out of Kernersville, a massive fire at a recycling plant there. Our Joseph Leonard is still on the scene, where he's talking with people who are witnessing the fire.
Yeah, we're live here in Kernersville outside of OmniSource, where you can still see the smoke blaring up from the plant here. I'm with friends Jackson and Donovan. Y'all tell me y'all were in High Point when you first saw the smoke.
Yes, sir. We were all the way in the Palladium. That's like probably 20 minutes from here, and it was clear in the sky from there.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. We just got out of practice, and we were like, yo, what is that in the sky? And so we just followed it over here.
And have y'all ever seen anything like this?
Nah. First thought was like, that can't be something normal. That's why we came all the way out here.
And when y'all got here, I guess how much traffic did y'all face whenever y'all were headed out here?
It was pretty crazy. Like, we didn't really want to pull in because there was so many cars like stopped just waiting, and the traffic wasn't flowing at all. But we were just like, we might as well pull in and see what's going on.
And y'all have never, like you said, y'all have never seen a smoke and a fire like this?
No, never. It's pretty crazy.
It's just rolling. Just keeps on rolling.
So we will continue to bring those updates to you live as soon as we find out. Again, we know that a large pile of scrap metal is what started this fire. Live in Kernersville, Joseph Leonard, WFMY News 2.
Now again, here's what we know about the fire. It's been burning for about an hour. The flames were so large you can see them from at least 20 miles away, even up near the North Carolina-Virginia border. This is at a recycling plant in Kernersville. We've had a lot of people ask online if there's a danger from the fact that it is a recycling plant. According to OmniSource's website, they do not take any materials that the federal government does not allow, and any dangerous materials. We are working to learn more about the history of this plant and fires there, as well as the response that's going on right now. We'll continue to keep you updated on WFMY News 2. Moving now to a big story tomorrow. CBS morning anchor Gayle King is going on a trip to space. She, singer Katy Perry, and 4 other women will fly on the Blue Origin space flight to the boundary of space. King talked about the crucial support she's getting from her 2 children and, of course, her best friend Oprah.
If any of the 3 of them had said, I don't think it's a good idea, or I'm worried, I wouldn't have done it. But they were all so excited and enthusiastic for me.
She made an appearance at the annual Breakthrough Awards last weekend. She says her grandson is picking his favorite stuffed animal for her to take up to space with her. As we continue the countdown to the days until CBS Mornings anchor Gayle King heads to space, we're going to look at how technology is making it possible for more people without years of training to travel to the stars. In fact, there's a whole new industry making it happen. CBS News' Mark Strasserman has more on what could be a new era in space travel.
Space tourism, no longer science fiction, but science fact. Newly minted astronauts include tycoons Jeff Bezos and Richard Branson, and celebrities such as actor William Shatner.
I'm Captain James T. Kirk, commanding the Starship Enterprise.
Of Star Trek fame.
The most profound experience.
Two companies, Bezos' Blue Origin and Branson's Virgin Galactic, will rocket you to the edge of space and back. It's a suborbital joyride, 50 to 60 miles above Earth, with a total trip time up and down lasting as little as 11 minutes. Nearly 120 people have launched with the two companies so far.
These are purely civilian flyers in most cases, and you have to call that space tourism.
And doing it for fun.
Yeah, pretty much doing it for fun. You know, you're getting your 4 minutes of weightlessness. You're getting a view of the Earth that only astronauts have ever gotten before.
In 2022, mountaineer Vanessa O'Brien flew to the edge of space with Blue Origin and loved it.
You are able to see something that is so precious. It was seeing that blue marble from above, and it translates into a sense of almost responsibility and an appreciation that we really are all connected, that it is one planet.
Elon Musk's SpaceX offers next-level orbital adventuring. In 2021, billionaire Jared Isaacman financed Inspiration 4, an all-civilian crew of 4. They orbited Earth for 3 days. Another space company, Axiom, has chartered civilians all the way to the International Space Station. Ticket prices are reportedly stratospheric, roughly $500,000 per passenger for an up and down trip.
3, 2, 1, ignition.
Somewhere around $200 million to charter a SpaceX capsule into orbit.
Those up and down suborbital flights have a better chance of, getting down to an affordability level that might appear a bit more reasonable.
Will those flights be more affordable to more people anytime soon?
I do think the prices can get down to the point of an around-the-world cruise, something like that, in fairly short order.
So strap yourself in once prices begin to drop. The future of taking a selfie from space is already here. Mark Strassman, CBS News.
Hi everyone, welcome to sports. I'm Logan Campbell. Now the two biggest sports stories we're following today is the final round of the Masters in the 9th Cup Series race of the season, the Food City 500 at Bristol Motor Speedway. We'll start at Augusta National, where 3 players are on the hunt for the coveted green jacket. And it was not an ideal start for Rory McIlroy. To open the final round, he double bogeyed on 1, which allowed DeChambeau to tie for the lead. But on 3, McIlroy birdies while DeChambeau bogeys to regain the lead. But the back 9 of the Masters has been insane. McIlroy blows his 5-shot lead, so Justin Rose, Ludwig Aberg are now all in the running for the coveted green jacket. There has been so much movement in this leaderboard today. I've changed it 5 times within the last 4 minutes. So this is going to come down to hole 18. But as of right now, McIlroy, Aberg, and Rose are all tied at the top at 10 under. And Scheffler is in dangerous position. We can't count him out, just sitting 2 back. We'll have highlights and hear from the winner tonight at 11. And the Food City 500 at Bristol Motor Speedway just wrapped up. Kyle Larson put on a dominant performance at the track, leading for every lap besides the first 39. We'll show you the clinic that he put on, plus hear from Larson after his first win of the season tonight in sports at 11.
How does 80 degrees sound? Crazy compared to what we had last week, Claire.
No, and you know what? It is going to feel so nice compared to the 30s that we woke up to just this morning. You know what, though? I'll take the 60s. Right now, it's been nice and comfortable across the area. We're still in the 60s as we speak, 64 in Greensboro, as well as in Asheboro. Next 12 hours, I don't anticipate us getting back down into the 30s, more so upper 40s, right at around 50 degrees. And we are going to be warming up tomorrow afternoon, lower 80s with breezes again out of the southwest, bringing in that warm air between 25 to 30 miles per hour heading into the afternoon. Now we are going to continue to be pretty warm heading into the day Monday, but by the time we're into Tuesday, this cold front's going to deliver some cooler air to the region. I expect us to be back in the mid to upper 60s across the area. A look at the futurecast into the night tonight. Southerly breezes, again, a pretty mild start in the 50s by the afternoon. I anticipate us being back in the lower 80s across the area. It's also going to get a little bit breezy across the region as well. I see some wind gusts between 25 to 30 miles per hour on Monday and even higher than that on Tuesday. By the afternoon, we could get between 30 to 40 mile per hour winds. That could lead to an increased fire danger across the area, with low relative humidity also expected into the day Tuesday. We are going to be warming up later into the work week, going from the 60s back into the 70s and eventually into the 80s over the weekend.
Thanks for joining us on this streaming edition of WFMY News 2 while the Masters were on our main channel. Make sure to check back at 11 for the latest on that big fire in Kernersville. We do have crews out there right now working to learn more. We'll see you there.